The Chinese army will cross the Euphrates and the Russians will clash with NATO on Turkish territory. These are the prophecies and predictions of the monks and the Athonite elders of the monasteries of northern Greece. Many holy elders spoke of their prophecies about a whole series of upcoming wars. Some of them warned that another world conflict would flare up again due to events in the Balkans. Will there really be a certain Gavrilo Princip again who will provoke a world war? And which leader will act this time as a sacred victim like Archduke Ferdinand once did? The predictions of the Chinese army will cross the Euphrates and the Russians will clash with NATO on Turkish territory sounds impossible, but don't rush to conclusions. The elders warned about the battle. Have you ever wondered why, throughout the history of civilization, people do not stop fighting? It would seem that the level of education is growing, conversations about values in society do not stop, but at the same time, conflicts around the world flare up with frightening consistency. Esotericists are convinced that such processes are necessary so that a person can ultimately approach the light. When will this happen? Apparently not soon. So far, neither Putin nor Netanyahu nor Biden know how or do not want to resolve some conflicts differently, only through military confrontation, which involves a lot of people. Athonite elder Paisius, who lived in the last century, told who will fight with whom in the future. And according to him, when the war with Turkey ends, the main fighting will shift to the Middle East. China will join the battle and the Chinese army will cross the Euphrates and invade the land of Israel. The total number of Chinese armed forces will reach 200 million people. The Chinese will besiege Jerusalem. In parallel, the Russians will clash with NATO on Turkish territory. Elder Cosmas of Etolia, who lived in the 18th century, he made these prophecies about 1750, told that what the Third World War would be like. In his opinion, the conflict will not last long, but will bring a huge number of victims. And all this starts with Serbia, he said. Dalmatia, which is Serbia. Elder Matthew, who passed away in 1950, predicted that a new worldwide massacre will be ignited by certain actions in the territory of the former area of Yugoslavia. As a result of the conflict, the planet's population will be reduced by a third, he says. Now, this is how some elders see the future. Others predict a different development. Some believe that a nuclear war will happen between Russia and China, which will try to annex the Far East. Beijing will have to retreat, and the Russians will increase the pace of development in Siberia. Tolerate and not complain. But according to other elder predictions, a big massacre will be avoided and human adversity will significantly rock the social boat. 2024 will be very difficult as global famine could begin due to the worsening economic situation throughout the world. Economic instability will affect all states without exception. People will face a difficult choice, the cross or their daily bread. That is, humanity will have to choose what is important, spiritual purity or a full stomach. Popular unrest and military conflicts will take place everywhere. People will begin to actively show dissatisfaction with the actions of the authorities. The old order will collapse. However, everyone should be patient and not complain, quote unquote. The good news is that the tough times won't last long. And they predict already in 2025, the world will be able to overcome the peak of the crisis and embark on the path of further development. According to another prophecy, disagreements will intensify between the United States and its allies. Both countries will face great difficulties. However, Washington has a much greater margin of safety. Time will pass, and the fraternal states will finally be able to leave behind all disputes and contradictions by joining forces. But in the U.S., the situation will gradually worsen. By actively seeking a new approach, the United States will put its own territorial integrity at risk. it's possible that some states will decide to declare independence. The precarious political situation will be aggravated by powerful natural disasters. As early as 2024, the United States may face large-scale natural disasters, they predict. And as soon as the balance of power in the geopolitical arena changes, the world will face financial instability, which will entail a deterioration in the economy. However, in this case, there will be no conflict. Even local confrontations are not expected, no war and no gunshots. And this is from Solask. According to the monks of Mount Athos predictions, we'll see what happens because they concern 2024 and 2025. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.